He did, and it become a exquisite bonding thing with me and him due to the fact I've never lied to him, and I've usually attempted to teach him to be sincere. Welcome, lower back, to our channel. In the arena of country track, Waylon Jennings was now not only an image of rebel, however also a pioneer who formed the outlaw United States motion. His talent and audacity sparked modern changes that shook the tune. At the back of the superb highlight lay a life marked by using relentless challenges and difficulty. From turbulent marriages and a in no way ending conflict with addiction, to enduring chronic pain that in the long run pressured him to amputate part of his body, Waylon Jennings lived a life in which pain and tragedy were steady partners. Despite the turmoil and inner struggles, he persevered to shine, leaving behind a musical legacy that captivated millions global. What sort of way of life led his body to go to pot? Did the career of this mythical discern succumb to his struggling? Let us delve into the emotional, tragic, but empowering adventure of the artist who for all time converted country song. Waylon Jennings. Born Waylon Jennings on June 15, 1937, at the J.W. Bittner Farm close to Littlefield, Texas, turned into the eldest son of Lorene Beatrice Shipley and William Albert Jennings. He grew up in a family of 4 kids, with 3 younger brothers, Tommy, James, and Bo. The Jennings' own family historical past became a completely unique mix of Irish, Dutch, and even Cherokee and Comanche Native American ancestry, though Waylon rarely mentioned this aspect of his background in interviews. His unique name, Wayland, became inspired via Wayland Baptist College, now Wayland Baptist University. However, on the proposal of a Baptist preacher, his mom modified the spelling to Wayland. Initially, Waylon disliked his new call, finding it too USAA. However, he in the end embraced it, turning it into an inseparable part of his identification and career. During his childhood, the Jennings' own family lived in poverty. His father, who worked at the Bittner Farm earlier, then shifting the circle of relatives to Littlefield to run an ice cream store and paintings as a truck motive force, was also a newbie musician who performed harmonica and guitar. Waylon's early years had been marked by using hardship. While his peers loved a carefree childhood, Waylon became pressured with monetary pressures and own family obligations from a young age. Despite those demanding situations, Waylon's innate expertise shone through. From an early age, he displayed a profound ardor for tune. At the age of 8, his mother gave him his first guitar, and he fast taught himself to play proficiently. He additionally commenced website hosting a local radio display, setting up himself as a standout younger skills inside his community. The combination of herbal expertise and life's harsh realities solid Waylon's resilient spirit. He dropped out of faculty early, now not out of a lack of ambition, however, due to necessity. This tough decision marked the beginning of his inspiring musical journey. Waylon selected to confront adversity with an excessive passion for song, a force that would later help him conquer even greater challenges and lifestyles. Waylon Jennings started out his illustrious profession by winning a skills contest on Channel 13, together with his rendition of Hey Joe. His passion for track surfaced early, and by the age of 14 he became no longer simplest, playing the banjo, satisfying the desires of those longing for completion and general motivation. End of chapter 14. But additionally web hosting his first radio show on KVOW. With a weekly 30-minute phase, Jennings quick formed his first band, the Texas Longhorns. The institution combined US of A, bluegrass, and modern-day styles, although their performances were not usually warmly obtained with the aid of neighborhood audiences. The early years of his career were fraught with challenges, and labored at his circle of relatives' ice cream shop, and as a truck motor force to make ends meet. Yet he by no means abandoned his dream of a musical career. A fateful assembly with Buddy Holly, the legendary rock and roll icon, in the course of local performances marked a turning factor in Jennings' lifestyles. Holly Speedy recognized Jennings' lifestyle and decided to mentor him. Buddy Holly had become greater than just a mentor. He was a catalyst for Jennings' career. Holly organized for Jennings to document songs, Joel Blonde and When Sin Spops, Love Begins at Norman Petty's studio in New Mexico. He also invited Jennings to play bass on the Winter Dance Party tour, a unprecedented and substantial possibility for a young artist. However, joy quickly turned to tragedy. On February 3, 1959, Buddy Holly, Ritchie Valens, and the Big Bopper misplaced their lives in an aircraft crash. Jennings, who had given up his seat at the plane to the Big Bopper out of compassion, narrowly escaped dying. Before the plane departed, Holly jokingly said, "I desire your bus freezes," to which Jennings spoke back, "I hope your plane crashes." That light-hearted commentary haunted Jennings for the rest of his existence. Following the tragedy, Jennings returned to work as a DJ at KLYL and done in small golf equipment, striving to keep his song career afloat. However, Holly's loss of life deeply affected him, plunging him right into a country of grief. His painting's performance suffered, and after being denied an enhance, he left KLYL to work at KDAV, though he made little development there. Despite facing devastating loss and severe obstacles, Jennings started out to solidify his musical fashion. He began mixing USA, rock and roll, and bluegrass to create a specific sound, paving the way for future achievement. The tragedy of the plane crash now not only left him with lifelong guilt, but additionally fueled his willpower to move ahead and build a profession that defied all limits. The 1960s and 1970s marked an explosive section in Waylon Jennings' profession, as he overcame limitless limitations to come to be an irreplaceable icon in country tune. However, his route to the pinnacle turned into something, however easy, packed with conflicts, dangers, and progressive selections. Jennings' professional career turned into released way, to his reference to Buddy Holly, one of rock and roll's greatest legends. Holly no longer only recognized Jennings' talent, but also brought him to the professional music scene. Jennings turned into invited, with the aid of Holly, to join the Winter Dance Party tour, where he performed bass, and discovered from one of the era's most remarkable artists. However, the tragic plane crash of 1959 that claimed Holly's life left Jennings with enduring pain and a deep sense of guilt. The crash on February 3, 1959, referred to as the day the music died, changed into a heartbreaking second in song history and had a profound effect on Jennings' lifestyles. At the time, Jennings changed into gambling bass for Buddy Holly all through the Winter Dance Party tour, a grueling schedule plagued by means of harsh weather situations and steady travel. The artist continued freezing temperatures and poorly geared-up buses. To ease the stress and guard their fitness, Holly arranged for a small charter plane from Dwyer Flying Service in Clear Lake, Iowa, to take him and his bandmates to their subsequent forestall in Moorhead, Minnesota. The four-seater aircraft changed into first, of all set to carry Buddy Holly, Waylon Jennings, and guitarist Tommy Alsop. However, because of drummer J.P. the Big Bopper, Richardson affected by the flu and wanting to avoid the cruel bus ride, Jennings gave up his seat for Richardson. Meanwhile, Tommy Alsop lost a coin toss to the younger artist Ritchie Valens, who took the very last seat. Before boarding, Holly jokingly stated to Jennings, "I hope your bus freezes." Jennings answered with a jest of his very own, "I desire your aircraft crashes." It was a light-hearted alternate among buddies, but it became a haunting reminiscence for Jennings for the rest of his existence. Shortly after takeoff at around 1 p.m. on February 3, 1959, the plane encountered extreme climate and terrible flying conditions, crashing into a cornfield near Mason City, Iowa. The twist of fate claimed the lives of all on board. Buddy Holly, the legendary rock and roll artist, Ritchie Valens, the young celebrity behind the hit La Bamba, J.P. the Big Bopper, Richardson the drummer and entertainer, and Roger Peterson the pilot. For Jennings, the crash became now not just the loss of a near buddy, but additionally a mental burden he carried for the duration of his lifestyles. He turned into giving up his seat on the aircraft, and was haunted with the aid of the fateful funny story he had exchanged with Holly. Though Jennings persisted the tour with the band later on, the tragedy left an indelible emotional scar. In later years, he admitted that the guilt from the crash became one of the factors that drove him right into a spiral of dependency. The day the music died was not just a somber chapter inside the history of rock and roll, however, also a turning factor that altered the time-changed Waylon Jennings' existence. In the years following Buddy Holly's demise, Jennings entered a hard duration, striving to set up himself within the track industry. He labored as a DJ at diverse small radio stations and performed in golf equipment to make ends meet. Despite going through severe opposition, Jennings commenced